You know, everybody was asking, and I was really asking, why is there no unification match for the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles when I think every fan watching this show, whether you are like me, who is of the utmost intelligence, or you are a blithering fucking idiot who sits in the crowd and accepts everything that WWE does on a weekly basis, I think we all can really agree we're all rowing down the same fucking river, man. The WWE Tag Team division is the drizzling fucking shits. It is the worst tag team division. It is the worst handled tag team division. It is the worst creative tag team division in all of the sport of pro wrestling. WWE is dead last. Dead fucking last when it comes to tag team wrestling. Everybody wondered why WWE canceled this main event. Why did we get this six-man tag that was seemingly born out of nothing? Why is this happening now? This feels like a SmackDown main event or a Monday Night Raw main event. You know, WWE's got SmackDown guys on Raw and Raw guys on SmackDown. We all know that the tag team championships and its divisions on Raw and SmackDown need to be merged. There were two reports that came out today. And I'm going to read the first one because WWE, they want you to believe that they are actually doing their job. They want you to believe, the fan on the internet, that they are long-term booking, but they're not. WWE doesn't know the term long-term booking. The six-man tag team match reportedly was always planned for WrestleMania Backlash. Really now? This was always planned. Bruce, you're a fucking comedian, Bruce. It's always planned. What the fuck are you talking about? The only thing that's planned is your fucking HelloFresh order for the next 7 months. You fucking fat slob, Bruce Prichard. Give me a break. WWE originally announced that Raw Tag Team Champions RKBRO would be facing SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos, in a title unification match at WrestleMania Backlash, or what I like to call rehash. WWE did an angle on last week's SmackDown where Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre got into a brawl after the contract signing to make the unification match official. However, WWE changed it to the Bloodline, Roman Reigns and the Usos versus Drew McIntyre and RK-Bro in a six-man tag team match. It turns out that WWE never planned to go through with the unification match. Dave Meltzer reported in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter that the six-man tag team match was always the planned match. There was never a plan to unify the tag team titles. This would explain why it was only confirmed that Roman Reigns would headline the show and no one from WWE would confirm Reigns defending the undisputed WWE Universal title against McIntyre at the event. Previously, it was reported that WWE is saving the big title match between Reigns and McIntyre for one of the upcoming big stadium shows, which could be one of three: Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, or the UK show Castle or Battle or Clash, whatever the fuck it's called, Clash at the Castle. Meltzer added, the idea is that with the show being held in an arena and 4 weeks after WrestleMania, the interest level wasn't going to be that high and they need big matches for their bigger shows. End quote. So let me get this straight, Bruce. Let me get this straight, WWE creative, whoever the fuck you people are. You mean to tell me that I'm supposed to believe Meltzer? Meltzer could have easily been fed false information here. I don't believe this report for a single solitary fucking second. I don't. WWE had no plans for this six-man tag team match when they say that they did. WWE had Shinsuke Nakamura that they honestly think that you and I forgot the night after WrestleMania, the Friday night, I should say, after WrestleMania, had Shinsuke Nakamura confront Roman Reigns. Then it happened the very next week as well. And then you want me to believe that WWE had no plans to do that match at a D-level show like Backlash. You want me to think that you had a six-man tag team match planned as the main event of Backlash, the pay-per-view following WrestleMania, as your main event? I don't believe that for a fucking second. At all. What I do believe is that WWE is fucking clueless on how to run their own show. I don't give a shit what the report from Meltzer says. I don't have any problem at all with Dave Meltzer or Brian Alvarez or anybody over at The Observer. But this report is a crock of fucking bullshit. WWE had no plans for this six-man tag, and the only thing that we would really assume as a fan base is that Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns were eventually going to get it on after WrestleMania, because it's not that difficult to fucking figure out that Roman Reigns has zero fucking competition. Zero. There's no competition for Roman Reigns on Friday night. I don't believe it at all. So good luck trying to convince me that this was always the planned match. No, it wasn't. And all we have to do is go back to the very first SmackDown after WrestleMania and see Shinsuke Nakamura in the fucking ring. Why is he out there when he has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on now if you didn't plan to give me Nakamura and Reigns at Backlash? Nice one, Bruce. What do you take me for, a fucking fool? Man, the WWE audience, man, how out of touch is WWE with their own fucking audience? It is ridiculous. Then I got this gem. Fox exclusively wants their talent on their show only. Fox reportedly wants exclusivity on WWE talent. Now we know exactly who, and I'm not giving WWE the benefit of any doubt because they don't fucking deserve it, and they certainly haven't earned it, but it may be that WWE wanted to do the unification match, and now I'm going to cross-reference this with this report, and it would even make that original report that I just read to you about the planned six-man tag being something that was supposed to be all along. How? Nakamura was there with Reigns, and now you want me to believe that the six-man tag team match was always in the plans, when now it's coming out that Fox ultimately canceled the unification match because they want brand exclusivity. During today's Wrestling Observer Live, Brian Alvarez and Dave Meltzer talked about the rumors about titles being unified and champions working on both brands on a regular basis. It was noted earlier that despite what was being teased on TV, the plan all along was for the six-man tag to happen at WrestleMania Backlash. No, it wasn't. And they were never going to unify the Raw and SmackDown tag team titles at the pay-per-view. Meltzer also stated that while fans may see Raw and SmackDown wrestlers appearing on opposite shows from time to time, the networks, and Fox was named in particular, they didn't even mention NBC Universal or USA Network. Fox in particular want exclusivity on talents. They want their own roster that does not appear anywhere else on any other WWE programming. Meltzer said, and I quote, "Both networks kind of want unique rosters. You can do some of that back and forth, but at the end of the day, Fox in particular really wants exclusivity on its own roster." Brian Alvarez then noted the reports over the last couple of years about networks being unhappy because they weren't getting certain names on their show, and now that is happening. Roman Reigns has been appearing on some Raw shows in the last couple of months, though he hasn't really done anything. And Alvarez noted that during the first WWE draft show for Fox, there were a bunch of names advertised, and none of them were sent to SmackDown despite being featured in Fox ads. Meltzer stated, "Yeah, well, now we all know these people. Brock Lesnar, Ronda Rousey, and Charlotte Flair are all there now, and Roman Reigns." If I was expecting to see WWE finally make sense of their absolutely abhorrent tag team division and some of these titles meaning nothing and maybe being meant or brought to some spotlight, don't expect or don't bet on any of that happening now with this new story coming out. It seems like Fox has ultimately canceled the unification match between RK-Bro and the Usos at WrestleMania Backlash. And again, I don't want to give WWE the benefit of the doubt because they may, in this case, in this situation, may be seeing what we all are seeing, that we need to do something about the tag team division. I don't know how many fucking RKBRO Alpha Academy matches we're able to sit through, or Street Profits versus RKBRO that we're able to sit through on Monday Night Raw. SmackDown has no tag team division at all. The Viking Raiders are about to be on fucking John Laurinaitis' phone book. Or in his phone book, on his fucking Rolodex, somewhere. They're about to get the call. Goodbye. They're no good. I mean, they're on NXT feuding with fucking the Creed brothers. That's their value. Yeah, let's bring you down to the Performance Center and have you put over two guys that are still green as grass. That's their value to WWE. Los Lotharios, forget about it. They ain't doing shit. Rick Boogs and Nakamura, they were a tag team because WWE had no other tag teams, and now Boogs is out for about 8 months. And Moss and Corbin, they're about all but broken up at this point. So please, where are the other tag teams on Friday night? What are the Usos going to do with those tag team titles if there are no other babyface teams? Oh, yeah, that's right. We got the New Day. We may get another fucking... how many times would that be? Why, 68, 69 times now on SmackDown in the last 5 years? Usos versus New Day. Yeah, that's really fucking exciting. And the blithering idiots will eat that shit up because WWE Foon sped it to them. Oh, Foon, yeah, Foon, whatever. WWE is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Then you got Sheamus, Ridge Holland, and Butch. Not really a tag team. They're only a group of 3 out there. They're not really a tag team in the tag team division. This shit sucks. I don't understand how Fox thinks they know what the fuck is going on, and Fox knows what to do with the show. I don't get it. Why are we putting our hope and faith in fucking Fox and the suits and ties over at Fox? They don't know what the fuck is going on. They don't know what the show needs. They don't. Why are we listening to them? Why are we listening to Fox? You'd think they'd watch the fucking show and see what's going on. Aren't you watching the fucking show that you're paying $1 billion for? Look at what the fuck they're doing on their show. Don't you see how terrible it is on a weekly basis? You mean to tell me that you want exclusive rosters in this current state of WWE? I don't get it. I don't get it. This is ridiculous. I hate everything about this story. Everything. Because Fox, it sounds like, and it looks like, Fox is actually sabotaging their own show. They're sabotaging their own show. For what? Because they don't want any other fucking people on the roster to be presented on Monday Night Raw and also on Friday Night SmackDown. Don't get it. I hate this story with a fucking passion, man. I read this evening. I read this tonight, and I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I get it. I knew it. I knew that was the reason. And this is why we got the unification tag team match canceled at Backlash. Now we know who to blame. Now we know who to blame. Roman Reigns doesn't have opponents. Roman Reigns has nobody but Drew McIntyre. The Usos have no fucking competition in the tag team division. No, but you want your exclusive roster. As long as you got Lesnar, Rousey, and Charlotte, and Roman, right? No, you're all good. You're all good. That's all that you need to get by, right? You're content with a 1.9 rating on a Friday night. You're content with that. You're paying $1 billion for a fucking subpar, less than subpar product. But you don't want, and listen, I'm not giving them the benefit of the doubt, but they may know better than fucking Fox for sure what the show actually needs. No, you don't want WWE to have a draft and merge the fucking divisions and put people on your show that actually need to be there to help the show. You want just the big names, and that's it. That's it. Yeah, let's ruin the entire fucking show on Friday night because Fox wants exclusive rosters. Sounds like a solid plan to me, Fox. I don't get why we got to bend backwards. Why WWE's got to bend backwards while the fans have to fucking sit through this mediocrity every fucking week because Fox, they don't want Roman Reigns to appear on Monday and Friday night. I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's the latest. That's the reason why the Usos and RK-Bro aren't unifying the tag team championships at Backlash. Who are the Usos going to defend those titles against except RK-Bro? I don't know. By the looks of it, they got no other competition on the show, just like Roman Reigns at the top. So what we can actually expect, folks, is that Roman either is A, going to give the WWE Championship back to Monday Night Raw, or lose it to somebody over on Monday night so that the title goes back over there, whoever that may be. I don't know. AJ Styles, Edge, Cody Rhodes, Seth Rollins. I don't know. That's the only thing that it really presents as far as a freshness. Roman actually losing one of the championships. No, in WWE, they'll have him fucking forfeit the title via the draft. They'll have him hold the title till the draft and then draft the fucking WWE title back on Monday Night Raw, and then they'll hold some kind of fucking tournament for the title. They won't even have him lose, which at this point, I think time is running out on this Roman Reigns world title run as far as it being interesting. I think it's really weighing on people watching the show. I think people are way, way beyond Roman Reigns as the tribal chief now. It hasn't even done anybody else right but Roman. To me, when you look at Roman Reigns' title reign, it will go down as a failure in my eyes because it did nothing to build the show or Raw or anybody on the roster. All it did was get Roman Reigns to a point where I can honestly say all that he's done was great for himself, but as far as everybody else sharing in that and him feeding everybody else beneath him, he didn't do shit. The head of the table and the tribal chief legitimately is the head of the table. He didn't feed anybody else at that dinner table. No one. What a fucking shame. An absolute shame. Fox needs to stay out of WWE's business, and they need to move the fuck on. Let WWE handle the goddamn show. I don't give a shit how much you are paying. You are paying for a fucking terrible product. Let WWE at least try to put a Band-Aid on what right now is a major fucking wound that will not stop bleeding. Drew McIntyre was even in the news. He even said, if there is going to be a draft and a brand split, there should be two world champions. He spoke to the New York Post. McIntyre argued that if WWE is going to keep two separate rosters, that the company should have two top titles. If we got separate rosters, I kind of prefer the idea of a champion for each show. At the same time, we just had WrestleMania and we needed a huge match. Brock had one title and Roman had the other title. It made for a very interesting match. I don't want to use the word stupendous, but it made for a very, very big match. And now we are kind of with the fallout or in the fallout of that huge match, that huge WrestleMania match. It happened, and now we'll see what happens moving on into the future. I kind of like the idea of a champion representing each brand. We have those separate brands, so somebody has to take down Roman at least for one of those titles. End quote. He gets it. He gets it, but WWE wanted Roman Reigns with the WWE Championship. What good is it if he is not going to do anything with that other championship? Why did we even do the championship match at WrestleMania if you had no fucking follow-up for Roman Reigns and no plan in place for when he won both championships? Now you're leaving Monday Night Raw without a top title or a prize at the top for anybody else to fight for. Austin Theory is your United States champion. That's not going to be a major title to fight for over on Monday night. Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes is the big program over on Monday night, but what the fuck are they fighting for? What are they fighting for? The quicker we get that title, because now we know for a fact that nothing is going to change and that we are definitely going to ununify the world championships and the tag team championships will not be heading towards the unification. We will have a WWE champion again at some point this year. Who that may be, I don't know when that will be. I don't know. But from this Drew McIntyre interview, it seems like we will be getting another world champion on Monday Night Raw at some point because WWE is not moving away from the brand split, and that to me is a colossal mistake. Not unifying the tag team titles or the women's titles for that matter. The women's titles. We don't need two women's titles. That is a mistake to me. Stop listening to the networks. They don't know what the fuck the show needs, but all of a sudden now Fox wants to get involved when WWE finally was about to do the right thing.